You're listening to the Carolina Olympic Spotlight presented by Heels on Franklin. If this episode hits the mark, do us a favor. Like it, drop a comment, and share it with a friend. That kind of support keeps the podcast rolling. You can find all episodes on the Heels on Franklin YouTube channel and on Spotify. So whether you like watching or listening, we've got you covered. Let's get into it.
Welcome into the debut episode of Carolina Olympic Spotlight. My name is Chris Smith, and I am joined by my good friend, Jeff Blackwood. Jeff, it is so good to have you a part of the Heels on Franklin family. But before I get you in here, very briefly, I just want to kind of share with everybody. Carolina Olympic Spotlight is our brand new show, which will be presented by Heels on Franklin. Just like all our other shows that we have, the Tar Pit Podcast, Heels on the Hardwood that covers Carolina basketball, and Heels on the Diamond that covers Carolina baseball and Carolina softball. You may ask, why are we starting to cover Carolina Olympic sports? Well, here at Heels on Franklin, we love every single sport at Carolina. Some of us are alums, some of us are lifelong fans, some of us are even former players like JJ Jones and Bryn Renner. And we are a true family here at Heels on Franklin, and we genuinely love every single sport. And we are adding Carolina Olympic Spotlight to the lineup weekly because we feel like that those sports also deserve so much deserving spotlight, just like all the other sports at Carolina. There is a saying, a tagline, a name, a banner name that Carolina Athletics so many times likes to use. Home of the national championships. Home of the national championship. Or how does it go, Jeff?
University of National Champions.
There you go. University of National Champions. Well, if you actually look at the records of all the national championships, Carolina is able to hold that title because of Olympic sports. Yes, we've had many national championships in basketball. Yes, we've had championships in other sports. But when it comes down to it, Olympic sports is the one that is able to lift that banner up, that name up for Carolina. And so it is our duty, it is our responsibility to give those programs and those players the deserving spotlight. Jeff Blackwood, I want to get you in here, as I always say, my guy. I'm excited to be here with you. I don't even remember how we met. Of course, it was probably via Twitter. But Jeff, if you were on Twitter, I mean, he's on Instagram, but if you're definitely on Twitter, we can't call it X here because I say it all the time on our shows. It's a horrible name. But if you're on Twitter, you have definitely come across Jeff. He also aggravates a few people, which is quite interesting. He will be after a most tremendous loss by a lot to a little. And Jeff is under the comments. That's okay. Regroup, get him next time. And as always, like he says, go Heels. And people are kind of in his comments right after that with like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's like, it's always go Heels with Jeff. And also Jeff is not hard to miss with his very long white beard and always his camo Carolina hat. Jeff, how are we doing, my guy? It's so good to finally have you a part of the Heels on Franklin family.
Man, thank you. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I was trying to remember while you were talking when we actually did meet, and it had to have been via Twitter. That's for sure. But I know I've run into you at baseball and some stuff like that, and over the last few years, and yeah, man. And yeah, I'm just now really getting active on Instagram. I've had an Instagram for a while, but I haven't really been active on it. Now I'm kind of treating it like I treat my Twitter, which is all about Carolina athletics and really trying to get the word out there as much as I can on that stuff. So
yeah, and very briefly, I think it's kind of cool. 2 alums today together on the show talking about Carolina Olympic sports. Jeff, tell us briefly, when did you graduate? What was your experience like at Carolina? And we can do a whole episode on that one day. We probably should, but talk to us a little bit about that. I will say you graduated a lot longer ago than I did, but
yeah, the white is truly due to age. I mean, my hair, which is I never used to have long hair up until my arm surgeries a couple of years ago. And now I've just let it go because everybody in my family likes it. So no, 91 to 95 at Carolina, graduated in 95, English major. I was on I was on campus for a lot of national championships because, first of all, women's soccer was running things at that time. And, obviously basketball in 93, which is the one that everybody really, really talks about and remembers. So being able to be on campus with that, share classes with, have the same classes as some of the players on that 93 championship team is always cool. It was just awesome, man.
Who were some of those players?
I actually had a geology class with George Lynch and Brian Reese. And then I had a film theory class with Serge Zwicker, and I want to say it was Scott Cherry, but I can't remember the second person. Sorry.
No, it's okay. And I've heard you mention before you actually crossed paths with Eric Montross a couple of times throughout campus, right? And he was not hard to miss.
Yeah, one of the years we had a Tuesday, Thursday class that we just synced up that we passed each other. Sorry, I'm trying to get my hands. I'm animated.
It's okay.
Try not to create sound for everybody. From me hitting my desk. But yeah, we had I think it was a Tuesday, Thursday class one semester where we happened to be trapped. We happened to be crossing paths every Tuesday, Thursday around whatever time it was. He going one way, I'm going the other way. But yeah, he always stood out, obviously, because he was he was more than head and shoulders above everybody. And then when it rained, you had the umbrella way high up there. So, it's cool. It's really cool to just be able to say that you walk the same brick paths at the same time. Not even the same brick paths as like Michael Jordan did years before, but at the same time as guys like Eric Montross and George Lynch and, Natrone Means on the football side of things, just to name a few, man. It's just really cool. It's special. And I, walking across campus with my daughter these days now too, when she's going to Carolina stuff with me. It's just special. It's special.
Yeah. Your daughter is always in tow for a midweek. And then most of Friday and Saturday baseball games, I believe she has volleyball on Sundays, but she's always in tow with you. I'm trying to get her to talk to me sometimes. She won't talk to me.
She won't talk when she's shy at first, but you better be careful what you wish for, because once she starts talking, oh man, she will go on and on and on, and she will talk your ear off to the point that I've had truck rides back with her when we were coming back from like a volleyball practice, and we practice way out in North Durham, like 30 minutes away from where I live. So come back from practices and she'll just be rattling on. And I'm like, seriously, I'm sorry. I love you, but you got to stop talking. My head hurts now. So be careful what you wish for. So.
Yeah. Talking about Nature of Means, one of my, it's not a prized possession or anything, but I love stuff like this. This is a little mini helmet signed by Nature of Means. And what I love about this one, in quotations, is business from his nickname. What was that? Chris Berman that gave him that? Was it Chris Berman? Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Nature means business number 20. Of course, he's, still on the staff as a running back coach. And man, that must have been really cool to see him in college. And then I think you also had one other running back that was pretty well known during that time as well.
Leon.
Yeah. Leon Johnson. Yeah. So
Johnson and Johnson. Yep.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and hop in. I mean, we got a lot of talk to talk about today, and so our goal is to, and we do understand that Olympic sports at Carolina is a niche, right? Some of them don't have the largest following, but I will say when you go to a women's lacrosse game or a men's lacrosse game or a field hockey game, those places are quite packed, or a soccer game. Those games fill up rather well. And so our goal, if you're interested in Olympic sports or something that you don't keep up with that much, our goal is once a week, mostly throughout the season, maybe after the season some, and throughout the off season, we can talk about recruiting and things like that. Is to kind of give you the update of what's going on with them so you can be informed about all things Carolina, that you're just not a fan of just the main revenue sports like, football, basketball. While baseball is not a main revenue sport per se, but some of the more popular sports like baseball and softball and things like that, you can kind of know about all sports and be an informed Carolina sports fan. And so let's go ahead and jump in today, Jeff. You did a fantastic job on the notes. I always kind of give the guys a hat tip for that because, you know, with hosts signing on with Heels on Franklin, I make it known like I'm the producer role. So I do a lot of the back end work, all that stuff, graphics, shorts, reels, hopefully making things sound and look good. And then it's the responsibility of the lead host, which are lead analyst roles, like Andrew, like a Jaden, like yourself, Jeff. Very important because we couldn't do these without you guys. Is your main role was prepping notes, right? Prepping, being in the know about all these things. So today we're going to be covering quite a few as fast as we can, right? Because we want to, you know, honor your time and just to get you guys up to speed about what's going on. And most Olympic sports are dwindling down or getting ready, you know, for ACC play or national championship play. And so today we're going to talk about a few wrestling, gymnastics, women's tennis, men's tennis, women's lacrosse, men's lacrosse, women's golf, men's golf, rowing, outdoor track and field, and that's it. So look, Jeff, let's go ahead and jump in. You know, wrestling finished number 16 in the NWCA, 9-5 overall record, 2-4 in the ACC, 6 qualified for the NCAA championships. Kind of take it from here when it highlighting Carolina wrestling, you know, throughout the year and how we finished.
Yeah, so really wrestling came in as the year really kind of set to where I think realistically, people that realistically looked at it realized it was probably going to be a little bit of a rebuilding season. Lost our top 2 guys really to transfer. And then we had, you know, graduations and things like that, obviously, that you obviously have. But this year we had a lot of really young guys have to take the mat in big time duels. And when you wrestle in the ACC, you wrestle in big time duels because while there's only just a little more than a handful of wrestling programs in the conference, they are all strong with the exception of, you know, the last 2 years with the exception of Duke. And they've had a guy or two here and there, but program wise, they just really haven't been overall strong. So anyway, that's why you see a 2-4 ACC record and a 9-5 overall record. And we finished the polls ranked number 16 in the National Wrestling Coaches poll. Coast Association poll, that people realize that the program is taking on a lot, and that's why the ranking is where it is. 6 guys qualified, like you said. I'm not going to dive into it, but just to name them, and you'll see the youth in here that I'm talking about. We had 2 graduate students that came to us this past offseason via transfer. Kyson Tirakina at 125 qualified for the NCAA. He came to us from Iowa State. We lost our 125 to transfer this past season. One of my favorite guys, Spencer Moore, transferred out. Talked to his dad on Twitter a lot during wrestling season. Even still, great guy. But
where did he transfer to?
He transferred up to Illinois, and
okay.
and that's not by accident, I don't think, because our most recent success in wrestling was Austin O'Connor winning 2 national championships in his time at Carolina. And Austin is from Illinois. Austin is assistant coach on the Illinois staff now. So he had the relationship because he and Spencer, cross paths. So in their time at Carolina. So, but great guy. But no, Kyson Tirakina came in, really got the lineup started right at 125 as a graduate student again from Iowa State. Did a great job this year, was ranked in the individual rankings all year. But the youth comes in here. Like 141, Luke Simcox, redshirt freshman, forced into action because of an injury. Even more extraordinary for Luke, 2 years ago, he had a motorcycle accident, broke 5 bones in his back. Wasn't ever sure he was going to wrestle again. Probably didn't think he was. He comes out and has a really good year. Got up as high as the number 10 ranked 141 in the country. That's, he's going to win a national championship before it's all said and done. It's tough to do. My bold prediction is before it's all said and done, if Luke sticks around at Carolina, which I hope he will, good family, he's going to win a title.
And Jeff, give me about two give me about 2 or 3 more names here for wrestling.
Okay, let's cut it. So the big name though would have to be Bryce Hepner. He's a grad student, came in. He's a 165 pounder, came in from Ohio State, and won an ACC championship this year. The only guy we had individually win an ACC title this year. He got that done. Also finished 7th in the NCAAs, which is considered a podium finish, and earned himself All-American honors for it. So that's, though I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. There's a redshirt freshman, Jake Daly, that I think is going to be really good at 184. He was highly ranked some of the year, but the program has got a lot going. They've got a lot of youth with the redshirt freshmen. We got redshirt freshmen now coming up that are just as good. There's a lot. There's a bright spot. There's a bright future for Coach Cole and the staff. So.
Yeah, and I apologize. I'm not sure what was going on with the screen there, but I think we got it. I think I got it figured out. Jeff, okay, good job on wrestling. And who knows, I'm trying to see what guys want to write articles on our new website, heelsonfranklin.com. We do have an article section, and maybe this is something Jeff could take on, breaking each one down, right, and putting it out. Jeff, maybe, never know. I mean,
English major. I wrote a lot of papers in my time. I think I could do that.
All right, let's go with that. But Jeff, real quick, check the private message for me. I think that's a bit of the information that on one of the athletes that you might could use in one of the next segments that we're going to talk about. But let's talk about gymnastics here, pretty quickly, and I'll kind of run through it for us, and then we'll jump over to women's tennis. I will preface with this section and say that if you've never been to a gymnastics meet at Carolina, you got to go. Definitely if you have kids, it's a fun experience. I have a daughter, she's 8. I think we didn't go this year, but we went last year there at Carmichael. I mean, you can get so close to the action and see these, just like all these crazy flips and bar work they do. And what I love too is you can get right by the chalk box. And what I mean by that, where the athletes, when they go to the bars or things like that, they'll chalk their hands. You can get right beside that if you have a kid. And the athletes a lot of times will come over with their chalk-filled hands and fist bump the kids and be interactive with them and talk to them and things like that. So it's just a really good atmosphere and experience for kids. Also for adults. I mean, because like I can't do these types of flips and things, of course, or I would not probably be here right now. But it's just phenomenal to watch those things. But, gymnastics had a pretty, up and down year. This year for Carolina Gymnastics, finished number 22 ranked and road to nationals. Overall record sitting at 8-10 and 1-5 in the ACC. And I'm not going to pretend that I know all the ins and outs of all the different Olympic sports that we have, but I will say when it comes to gymnastics and you see those final graphic, like final meet graphics come out, it's just like tenths of a points sometimes that it takes you from first to third or first to second or moves you into first, like a tenth of a point a lot of times. And it's so interesting to see how it's done. And when you're at a live event and you see, it's just interesting how a tenth of a point can take you from first to third or vice versa. But, they wrapped up the 2026 season here in the second round of the NCAA Baton Rouge Regional back on April the 2nd. Finished third in their session behind Stanford and Michigan, which Stanford, as we all know, I think has a pretty stout gymnastics program with a score of 196.250. Gwen Fink there, a senior qualifier for the NCAA championship in the vault and recorded a 9.8 to place 16th on the season. Something to highlight that I think is pretty decent here is remaining in the top 25 their entire season with the highest ranked at number 11 in week 2, back-to-back years of representation, the NCAA National Championship, and then also all 4 events that you compete in, which is, I might need one help here, Jeff. It's bars, mat,
floor exercise, yeah.
Yeah, floor exercise. Is it beam? And then what's
beam.
the one? And what's the one where you
vault.
run? Vault. See,
Yeah.
see. I got a little bit of it.
There you go.
Hey, look, I'm doing my best. Jeff's teaching me too, so I'm doing my best to help with getting everybody else involved and knowing about Olympic sports. Consecutive season with improved end of season ranking, first time in program history. Here's a few names to watch going forward. We kind of like to do this with our heels on the diamond as it relates to like when a series is coming up, we'll kind of give you some of the key players from the opposing teams. Well, this is some for our normal teams. Jeff, kind of give me those names right here of who to watch going forward for Carolina Gymnastics.
Absolutely. Yeah. So sophomore this year, Jojo Valahovic had a really strong freshman season, continued it to sophomore year. Freshman this past year, Sydney Seabrooks, ACC Newcomer of the Week several times. Really, really good. Junior now, rising senior, Jessica Naranjo, junior Nev King, and junior also Cami Ruda. So some folks that'll be around. And recruiting, you never know. We're going to get some recruits. We've already signed, I know, at least one CC Cooley that could have an impact. You never know. There's some freshmen and redshirt freshmen and sophomores that maybe pop up into these names. But these are the names to watch, I think, that stand out the most.
Okay, Jeff, and the people want to know, growing up, did you ever take gymnastics?
No.
No. So I did. That's why I asked that question. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or girl, right? Both compete in the sport. Yeah. But I will say it seems like more times than not, a kid growing up will take a year of gymnastics or something like that. I know my kid was involved with it for a couple of years. She actually just went to it's called Chapel Hill Gymnastics there in Chapel Hill, right out there beside the Chick-fil-A in that area. And she did the camp there. I think it's just for fun for her, but I actually did a season of it when I was very little. I think I just really enjoyed the foam pit and running and jumping into that and doing some kind of twist or something. I didn't ever do anything crazy, but yeah, Jeff. All right, cool, man. Let's go ahead and transition over to women's tennis. Number 6 ranked in the ITA, 24-3, 11-1 in the ACC. I mean, women's tennis is a team that's always at the top, right? Always super there, competitive, will go toe-to-toe and battle with anybody, any program in the nation. Number 2 seed in the ACC tournament, Jeff, I'm going to let you take it from here, and then I'll take men's tennis. With men's tennis.
Sounds good. Yep. So like you said, number 2 seed, the ACC tournament was this past week. So came in number 2 seed. First round quarterfinal match, pretty easy time as far as that goes against the 10-seeded Notre Dame. Got a 4-1 win on that one. Then came the semifinals, number 3 NC State. Didn't go our way. Really hate that, especially when it's to them. That was last Saturday. Lost 4-2 in the semis to them. State did actually go on to actually win the women's tennis tournament in the ACC. So
yeah, they've always had a competitive women's tennis team. It seems like
they've been good. They have been good. They actually this past in the fall they had the NCAA singles and doubles championships. State actually had the doubles champion, the NCAA doubles champion. So they actually had the doubles team that was champion. They're strong. I'm not taking anything away from them. They are.
What about Duke?
Duke is not as good. They're just not as good generally. Okay. They're I'm not knocking them. They're there, sure. But they're there. But it's they're never a team that really scares me, quite honestly. The notable thing though this year, and this is not the kind of thing that you want to have to mention, but for the first time since 2012. Women's tennis didn't win the ACC regular season or the tournament title. That shows you the kind of run we've been on the last several years. The Elizabeth Scotties of the world, who's back on staff now, Fiona Crawley, and this year now, Reese Brantmeyer. You've NCAA regionals. Before I get ahead of myself, they do have a next up. The NCAA regionals will be May 1st through 3rd. That's a Friday through a Sunday. Don't know, location is undetermined at this point, but the action will continue for them. Several singles and doubles in the rankings this year. I don't want to go through them all and call the names all out there. But we have consistently throughout the year, we had almost our whole lineup ranked in singles and are actually 3 doubles, because you compete 3 doubles at 3 doubles matches, and pretty much all year, all season long, our main 3 doubles teams were also ranked. But I'm going to call out Reese, senior this year. Man, we're going to miss her. Reese Brantmeyer, she was the 2025 ACC Player of the Year, so that was last year's Player of the Year. In the fall, she won the NCAA Singles National Championship. She was ranked 1 or 2 all year long. And, obviously it's not done. She's not done yet, but she's been something else. And, if you know of the Patterson Medal, which is the medal it's the highest award given to student athletes of Carolina, I hazard to guess she's going to get a Patterson Medal next year.
Okay.
So,
well, good stuff. So they still have the nationals to go through for women's tennis.
Correct.
Gotcha. Is that the same for men's tennis?
Men's tennis is done. They're not going to qualify.
Okay. All right. Well, let's kind of give you the end of the season recap for men's tennis. Number 43 ranked in ITA with a 15-11 overall record and a 6-7 in the ACC. They came in at a number 11 seed in the ACC tournament. A couple of high notes here for that is they defeated the number 14 seed in VT 4-0 in first round last Wednesday. Also, this last Thursday, they defeated number 6 seed Clemson 4-3 in the second round last Thursday. And then last Friday, it came to an end for them in the ACC tournament with a loss to the number 3 seed Notre Dame 4-3 in QF, which took place last Friday. Singles number 95 senior. Am I saying this right, Jeff? Rowan Jones, number 125, Chris Shoe. Okay. And then also junior
Niels Rachu. Yeah, okay. Niels Rachu. What I just some guys to kind of like we did before, the guys to call out.
Okay.
And on what we're going to see. Notice that of the guys that were ranked in and out, and the people I put here might not have been ranked now in the end of the season, but they were in the rankings at some point off and on throughout the season. The only senior we have is Roan Jones. And Roan came in as a transfer, did a great job this year, was the highest ranked guy we had most of the time. Also part of the only doubles team that we had ranked going. Everybody else, we're looking at juniors, sophomores, freshmen. So they got a lot of experience this year. It was up and down. We got some big upsets, and then we turn around and lose something we absolutely should not have lost. It happens. But
right.
Yeah. NCAA participation next year in the regionals is a realistic goal for this team.
Okay, so young team looking to make strides for next year.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, let's talk about women's lacrosse. Number 1 ranked, right, in the IWLCA, 14-1 overall, and then undefeated in the ACC and number 1 seed in the ACC tournament. Defeated the number 8 seed Duke 15-11 in the QF there on Wednesday. And I'll let you take it from there, Jeff.
Yeah, women's lacrosse. What else are you going to say? Defending national champions right now. The one blemish this year was a rematch to Northwestern from the title game. That was a close one too, though. So like you said, just kind of call out a couple names to the names that you're going to hear, especially Darcy Felter, the game on Wednesday. Darcy Felter had 5 goals, 2 assists to lead the team 7 points. Chloe Humphrey was right behind her, 4 goals, 2 assists. Chloe's a sophomore. I'll get to her. If you're familiar at all or you've heard the name Chloe Humphrey, you've heard it. She's the third of the Humphrey sisters. Her sisters are gone now after last year. Chloe, I'm going to get ahead of myself, but I'll peel it back. So next action is taking on the number 4 seed Syracuse in the semifinals, and that's going to be Friday at 5, this coming Friday tomorrow at 5. Kind of notes on the team. Second straight season is the 1 seed. 7th time in the last 11 tournaments that we've had that 1 seed. 10-0 in conference play. Winning the ACC regular season outright. Like I said, raising ACC champions, 8 titles, defending national champions. Like I said, the team, they're a powerhouse. and they're a powerhouse. And I guess the best way to try to kind of keep it, to keep us a little more compact on stuff, the best way to kind of illustrate that is the Tewaaraton Award, which the Tewaaraton for lacrosse, men's and women's lacrosse, is the Heisman. It's the player of the year. It's the Heisman for football. It's the Wooden or what Naismith for basketball. Carolina has, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four nominees, the top 25 nominees, basically finalists more or less for that award. Grad student Sam Forrest, sophomore Chloe Humphrey, sophomore Eliza Osborne, and sophomore Addison Patillo. You see that? There's 3 sophomores in there. Chloe, as a freshman last year, won the Tewaaraton. With her numbers this year, they might as well go ahead and give it to her again. I mean, I think it's a formality. I know Northwestern might have something to say about that, but
so Chloe,
you got to give it to Chloe.
Chloe's in a sophomore, and then the other 3 that are nominated for Carolina are all sophomores too,
except for grad student. We got a grad Sam Forrest.
Okay, so 4 of those, 3 of them will be back with being juniors.
Yep,
that's unbelievable. I mean, of course, you have always the possibility of transfers, but when it comes to Olympic sports, a lot of times those are. And why would you want to leave, UNC lacrosse program? But things happen all the time. But more than likely or not, they will be Tar Heels next year. And so, what a foundation that that you're going to have going into next season already for being named to, or 3 that's going to be back next year being named to such a prestigious award.
And guess what? The recruiting class coming in, strong. I mean, it's, Coach Levy does such a good job. He really does. Yeah, it's strong, man. It's crazy. So
yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, let's go ahead and talk about men's lacrosse. So, hopefully women's lacrosse continues their hot streak as they move into finishing off the ACC tournament there, Jeff, and then going into the national play. We wish them nothing but the best. And then let's talk about men's lacrosse. But before, I wanted to do kind of like a little halftime is that if you're listening right now, wherever platform you're listening on, Jeff and I are recording this during the day, and we're releasing this tonight, same day, right, as a pre-recorded live. So you may be listening on my Twitter, Jeff's Twitter, Hills on Franklin Twitter, or the YouTube. Do us a favor, give this stream a like on YouTube, a comment. If you're listening on YouTube, give us a subscribe. We just went over the 1,500 subscriber mark, so we're thankful for everybody that's over there on YouTube. Also, turn on the bell notification so you can always stay in the know of what type of videos we're releasing and content. And then on Twitter, do us a favor. Join us in bringing more attention to Olympic sports, right? And how you can do that is to give this stream a retweet. It's super simple. You just got to hit that retweet button. I promise you it goes a long way, not only for the Olympic sports programs and getting more eyeballs on them, but it helps us as well as a grassroots platform. Women's and men's lacrosse, if you've never been to a men's or women's lacrosse game, you have to get there to Dorrance Field. In my opinion, it is keywords here. One of the most prettiest venues on campus. How it's just kind of blocked in, right, with the buildings, and then you walk in, and then the stands go down right into like a little bowl. It's just a beautiful facility, right, that hosts men's and women's soccer, and then also lacrosse and men's and women's lacrosse. You got to get there. I didn't grow up playing lacrosse, but when I attended my first lacrosse game at Carolina, I didn't really know how physical that game is. I mean, it is super physical. And so I just encourage you guys all to be there. And remember, those key words I used were one of, right? Because you can't go wrong with the Bosch. You can't go wrong with, Field Hockey Stadium there as well, or Keenan. And of course, we'll see what happens with the Dean Dome. You never know in the future. Also, Anderson's a beautiful park right there nestled in the trees. But let's talk about men's lacrosse, another dominant lacrosse program here at Carolina. I went to the Army game this year, and that was really cool, man. So many service members that were there, coming down from Army to attend that game, but also previous service members and veterans were there, and so that was really cool. And Army put a straight up fight in that game, and so that was really fun to see there. Men's lacrosse, number 3 ranked in the USILA, 11-2 overall, 2-1 in the ACC, and then of course, right, the big name here is always Owen Duffy on Tuesday. This week, the junior attacker Owen Duffy was named the ACC Offensive Player of the Week. 3 goals and 5 first-half assists in UNC's 16-15 overtime win over Virginia on Saturday. His 5-assist performance tied his career best, and his 8 points was 1 shy of his career high. He also has a point in all 40 games this year, 5 or more points in 6 games this spring. And then also, the regular season finale versus number 17 Duke on Saturday at noon. So be sure to tap into that, get there, cheer on the Tar Heels, clinch a share of the ACC regular season title for the 2nd straight season with a win. And then, how do you say that award name again there?
The Touraton.
The Touraton top 25 nominees, junior Owen Duffy, and then redshirt junior Dominic. I'll let you do that.
Yeah, Dom Petramala.
Hachamala.
Petra.
All right.
Petramala.
You can tell that you're an English major.
That and it's just paying attention to the pronunciation, looking up pronunciation guides too, man. Those are vital by the SIDs putting those things out for Carolina.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
And then of course you have junior Brady Wambach coming in there being mentioned as well. Let's go ahead and talk about women's golf. Number 13 ranked in Clipped scoreboard.
Clip. Yeah.
Yep, Clip scoreboard. I'm gonna let you take it from here, Jeff.
Yeah, so women's golf is one of those that we were talking about. The ACC tournament was this past weekend, so that's wrapped up. But the team overall won 2 tournaments this season, came in 2nd twice, and came in 3rd in other tournaments twice. So had a good year. They've been in that top 15 ranking all season long. They were the number 4 seed in the ACC championship this past week. Finished 6th in stroke play. So what they do is they have 3 rounds, and whoever is for women's golf, it's top 6 after stroke play, advance to then match play. And match play is when you're going to be reseeded and you're going to match up against another team. So we came in into match play, and we were the 6th seed, took on the 3 seed Wake Forest and beat them in the match play quarterfinals 3-2. Match play semifinals, we had to take on number 2 seed SMU and lost to them 3-1. So again, good season so far, but it's not over. That's still not over. NCAA regionals will take place in Chapel Hill at beautiful Findlay Golf Course. I don't play golf anymore. I did play Findlay a couple of times when I was in school. They've done it was beautiful then. They've done a lot of work on it now. It's even more so. So, check it out. May 11th through 13th is going to be the NCAA regional in Chapel Hill. So we'll get more women's golf and a chance to make some noise on the national stage there.
Yeah, I really miss playing golf. I've shared a couple of times on stream, but I had neck surgery 1.5 years ago, and if there was a failed button, there actually is a failed button for back surgeries. I would have the failed button for neck surgery. It's something I deal with every day. I'm still getting modalities and work done around it, trying to get better. Golf is one of those things for the past 1.5 years, almost 2 years, that I had to give up, that I love playing. Never good at it, 90 to 100 golfer, but I love, like what JJ said the other night, I love what comes along with golf. The fellowship, cracking a few back and having a good time. One of the main reasons why I can't play is that I have, from neck surgery, I have nerve issues, nerve damage. And so holding a club in my with the right hand is really, really tough. So like the next day I would not be able to grab a mouse, or be very hard to whisk eggs, things like that. But I'm trying to get back there. Who knows? You might see me out there someday again. I will say, kind of a little funny story. Troy Trevor, definitely Bryn loves to play golf. I tried to call him, 2 days ago, and he shot me. He's like, hey, send me a voice memo. I'm on the course, and so shout out to him, man. Just moved back to Chapel Hill. So it's good to have him back in Carolina Blue land, I guess you could say. Good to have him back in Chapel Hill. Troy called me one day. He's like, man, we should start a golf podcast called Heels on the Links. And so here we are talking about golf. But look, let's talk men's golf before we jump into rowing. I'm going to let you take rowing, but I'll talk men's golf right now. Number 9 ranked in Clip scoreboard, won 3 tournaments this season. One as the second, one as the third there, number 2 seed in the ACC championship. And I'll let you kind of take it from there, Jeff, and kind of give us the overview of the players and to finish out that segment on men's golf.
Yeah. So just for name awareness, and I missed it on women's golf. Sorry, I'm on that one. For the name awareness, but the lineup we're looking at, and this has been our main lineup most of the year for most tournaments. We got the junior Niall Shields Donegan, sophomore Grant Rossich, freshman Carson Barton Yoli, senior Keaton Bowe, and sophomore Sihan Santu. Excuse me. So those are going to be the guys. They're actually teed off. They've already teed off. So they're playing the first round right now. They're in the 11 through 14 hole range on that. ACC tournament, like I said, going on now. 3 rounds of stroke play today, tomorrow, Saturday. The top 8. This is the difference with a little bit of the difference. Women's golf, it was the top 6. Men's golf for the ACC top 8 advanced to match play. And then the match play quarters and semis will be on Sunday. The finals on Monday morning. We sit in 7th right now as we play. There's a lot. The scoreboard. If you follow the scoreboard, and I'll look at the Clip scoreboard website and the scoring, and it goes up and down throughout the tournament. It's one of those things that I'll be looking at the beginning. We'll be like in first. I'm like, yes. And we get another 4 holes down the line, and now we're in 7th. And there's so much volatility in that. So yeah, we're in a good place. We're in a good place right now because we're sitting in 7th, but there's a lot of golf to play. So we'll see. I know this answer, but this is something you can't watch on TV. Nah. How cool would it be if there was just like this like very advanced drone over the whole course, and there was a way for like you to subscribe to it? This is just out of left field. Just scroll with me here. And there was a way for you to subscribe to it, of not to have control of what the drone goes, right? It just stays in one spot over the whole course. But then when you went into the app or whatever it is, it would have it's got like multiple different cameras or whatever on that drone for each hole or whatever. And you went into the app, you could like pick what hole, and it would like already be zoomed in on that hole somehow. So you could like follow that hole from a sky view, right? And then like if you want to jump to another hole, you could just dude, how cool would that be? Somebody is going to run. Somebody that is a multi-millionaire is going to run with that idea. It's going to hear that. It's going to hear this, and you've just given them their.
I don't know. I don't even know if it can be done. I don't even know if it could be done. But how cool would that be? I would use that.
That'd be sweet, man. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Cool, Jeff. Well, let's just back up real quick. You said, you didn't get to mention the women name. I think there's only about 4 or 5 there. So go ahead and mention those while we're here. Back to women's golf really quick, and then we'll transition over to rowing.
Yeah, let me do that because then this is also gonna illustrate for you that the team is still young. We're not our main lineup for the most of the year only boasts 1 senior, and she's been outstanding. Megan Stryker, outstanding. She's been a superstar. She's always right there for the top finishing individual for us in any given tournament. But then we've got 2 juniors and 2 sophomores. We've got junior Ing Idplume, junior Reagan Sutherland, sophomore Helen Young, and sophomore Maria Prats Regual. So those, again, you're looking at the lineups there. You've got sophomores, you got juniors. So as good as they've been, I would expect just another year of play, another year of experience. They're going to be right back at it.
Dude, I gotta give you your props, man. You're nailing these names. another host that does so well with that is Troy. He does really good at name pronunciation. I'll be honest, it's something that I will study, but then when I get live, something in my brain just doesn't remember or something. I've got
a post-it note with the phonetics on some of those sitting right in front of me. So
hey, that's pro, man. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
All right. So talk about rowing, and then we'll transition to our last sport, which is outdoor track and field.
Yeah. So just kind of these are going to be a little quicker. But I'm putting it out there because, again, like we said, the whole idea is to raise the awareness. Correct. So we want people to know the stuff's going on. Rowing. I've talked about it. I've talked about it before, but rowing finished last season ranked 25th in the CRCA poll, which is the main rowing poll, college rowing association poll. Mm-hmm. So this year they came into the season actually not in the rankings, which I thought was kind of a little bit crazy. I thought we still should have been there, but after the first regatta of the year, we popped right back in there at number 21, and we're number 22 currently. We've been 21, 20, 21, 22, the whole little season so far, and the season is not long for rowing. They do have the Lake Wheeler Invitational on Friday and Saturday of this week. Lake Wheeler and Raleigh. Also, Lake Wheeler is always the host for the ACC championships. Those are coming up the 14th and 15th of May. So if you've never been to rowing, it's an interesting experience watching it. I have been once. I have been once. I would like to go again. I don't know if I'm going to get to do it this year. I hadn't been able to make it this year. Once was in the past, but it's interesting. There's actually a watch guide if you go to gohills.com. And go to the rowing team page. They have the information there that tells you all you need to know about Lake Wheeler and the main entrance and how the stands are. And I mean, it's interesting. Again, I went to high school in Northern Virginia lived in Northern Virginia for 3 years because my dad was stationed at the Pentagon. Rowing, or crew as it's called, is huge up there.
Oh yeah.
Potomac River. My high school went to the Stokesbury Regatta in England every year. So, I had a girlfriend at the time that was on crew, so that road crew. So it's something I picked up just from being there and being in that Georgetown area and everything like that. So, yeah. And again, name, just to throw the name out there, the ACC every preseason puts a watch list that has one rower from each team on there. Ours this year was Ella Gussick. So that's just a name that was obviously to throw out there to give you. Got the recognition from the ACC in the preseason, but we've been really strong this year. Our varsity four, our first varsity four, second varsity four, first and second varsity eights, they've been strong, and they've got a lot of first and seconds in regattas. So, program that you don't know really much about that's been pretty consistent the last couple of years, and it's good.
Yeah. Well, good stuff there, Jeff. Well, let's close it off with outdoor track and field, man. What you got for me?
Outdoor track and field. Okay. So, track and field, the track and field season is kind of it's a weird thing. It really is combined with cross country. So you get cross country in the fall, you get indoor track in the winter, outdoor track in the spring. I'll be honest with you, our cross country and our indoor track were really strong. Hadn't rounded into form, I don't think, so far for the results that we saw for indoor track and field and for cross country for the distance stuff. But when it comes to, there's a governing body for track and field, and for the rankings, it's the USTFCCCA, which is the United States Track and Field Cross Country Coaches Association. That's a mouthful. I will call out, we do have four event squads, so to speak. And when I say event squad, it's like the events, you got the 1500 meters, or you have the 800 meters, or the pole vault, things like that. We have 4 of those squads between men's and women's that are actually ranked in the top 20, which I think is noteworthy. Our women's 1500 meter squad is number 11. The men's 1500 meter squad is also number 11. Women's pole vault comes in at 14th, and the women's 800-meter group is number 16 right now ranked. So, there's a lot of stuff still to go. They're actually the pin relays. Pin relays is a huge event. I mean, it's like high school, college. It's a big event. The participation is massive. That's actually kicking off today up in Philly, and it's today, tomorrow, and Saturday. I think our participation in that is with the 5,000 men's and women's 5,000 meters are going to participate in that. That starts tonight. It's like 7:30 tonight. And then we have some more events that we're taking place in on Friday and Saturday. But we've also got the squad is also kind of split up because we're also going to have representation down in Charlotte at the Charlotte Invitational this Friday and Saturday. Okay. So you'll see that a lot. You'll see that a lot with track and field where like we might send the thrower, we might send the field event people one place. And then, you'll get the distance runners or the more of the short distance sprinter stuff at different places. So they'll mix it up just depending on what the event is and who other teams are competing in the events. So.
Right. And are these ACC events or NCAA events?
They're national. So they're national. They are national. Then now, and you actually segued me nice because then the ACC Outdoor Championships are going to be taking place the 14th through 16th of May up in Louisville. So there's seasons. Like I said, seasons are winding down. But yeah, the events and especially the pin relays is so big. Like I said, there's high school events there. There's college events. The Charlotte Invitational will have. It's college. It's college. They'll have, you'll typically see the Liberties and just other stuff like that all around. So, but it's not just ACC stuff. It's not just ACC. There is no really, other than the ACC championships, there's no meet or event that's just ACC participation. So, names. I'll throw out names to know. On the women's side, Michaela Page. She won an indoor national championship last year in the 800 meters. She's still strong. She's the distance, the 1500 and the 800 meter kingpin as far as for Carolina. So that's a name to always pay attention to. And on the men's side, the Aiden Neals and the Henry Strands are always there. And those 1500 meter, 5,000 meter runners. Carolina in track recently has kind of been distance U. We've won ACC and national championships indoor, outdoor with distance runners over the last 2 or 3 years. So really strong program, especially on the distance side of things.
Good stuff. Well, I think that rounds it out, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think I can add anything else in there if I wanted to. I don't think I can throw anything else in there if I wanted to, man.
Take a deep breath, man. You did a good job. I think we did a good job, man, for our first episode, and we appreciate everybody tapping in. Again, these are our efforts, right, to shine a light on all the sports at Carolina, Olympic sports at Carolina. Do us a favor, no matter what platform you're listening on, be sure to follow or subscribe. Leave us a review over there on Spotify. Unless it's not a good one, then don't worry about it. Kind of like I always say, just don't worry about it. But do us a favor. Leave us a review over there. We're really trying to grow that platform over there on Spotify. You'll be able to catch this episode on Spotify as well. And then, retweet this out. Help Olympic sports, right? Get the notoriety that they so deserve, right? Like I said early on, the University of North Carolina likes to have that name, the University of National Championships. Yes, men's basketball has tied into that, some, and at the basketball level has done such a good job, right? One of the storied blue blood programs in the nation. But we're able to have that title because of Olympic sports, right? So do your due diligence as a Carolina fan and learn about them, know about them, support them, go to games if you live in Chapel Hill or a surrounding area. Jeff, my friend, it's been good. I want to say real quick, I know that you're seeing this between 7 and 8 tonight, but also at 8:30, we are back live for Heels on the Hardwood with Troy, Jaden, and myself. And then on Sunday, Inside the Dugout with Shelby Barbie at 7 o'clock for Carolina softball. And then at 9 o'clock, the debut show of Air It Out with Bryn Renner It's going to be a pre-recorded episode. We're recording that tomorrow, and we'll go live at 9 o'clock on Sunday. Jeff, thank you for doing this, man. Thank you for being the lead analyst for Carolina Olympic Spotlight.
Man, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for having me on in the family. I love it.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's get out of here. Be sure to follow, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. Until next time, go Heels.
Go Heels.
Thank you for listening to the Carolina Olympic Spotlight presented by Heels on Franklin. If this episode hit the mark, do us a favor, like it, drop a comment, and share it with a friend. That kind of support keeps the podcast rolling. You can find all episodes on the Heels on Franklin YouTube channel and on Spotify. So whether you like watching or listening, we've got you covered. We will see you next time.